It's Storytime!
Hello and welcome to the Storytime podcast. And this week I have with me Jenny.
Hi.
Would you like to tell everyone where to find you on the internet?
Jenny E on YouTube, like the letter E. Jenny 93 Edgar on Instagram, and I have an IMDb as well, Jenny Edgar. So yeah, I'm on Twitter, but I hardly ever post, and I can't remember my Twitter user.
Yeah, I just said Jenny because I wasn't sure if you wanted your second name, but there you go, Jenny Edgar. And I'll put all the links down in the description and the show notes on SoundCloud so people can find you. But basically, the reason you are here this week is because you're going to make me super fucking jealous and tell us all about you being on Game of Thrones. I'm actually dead. I'm so jealous.
Oh,
Where do we start? What did you do on Game of Thrones?
It just everything. Like, it was so much better than you think it's going to be, and you think it's going to be the best thing ever. So you like turn up and you're just like, this can't be real. Like, this is a dream.
Sorry, I'm just going to grab my tea here because I just can't deal with this.
Oh, I love my tea.
Okay, let's get stuck in.
So yeah, like, okay, well, I'll start with how I got onto the show in the first place.
Yes, please, and if you had any tips and tricks,
yeah,
that'd be great.
So basically, have ridiculously long hair and look a bit mad is my tip for how to. So
was your hair much longer than it is now then?
Yeah, I had like pretty much waist length hair at the time, and then stupidly cut it off like to there, like, so it wasn't that much shorter, but it was shorter to me. But I had registered on Extras, well, it was called Extras NI then. It's called the Extras department now.
Yeah, because now it just started doing Republic of Ireland.
I know, I'm like, oh, please go into some shows down here as well, because I've been in shows down here, but with movieextras.ie. And it's like, it's really different, and I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of prefer Extras department, because they just, I don't know, I know everyone that works on it as well. Yeah. Now, because I've done like loads of shows, but I'd been on their database for like 2 years or something and heard nothing, so I just kind of assumed that they were never going to get in contact with me. And then I was like really, really ill, and then my doctor said to me, we'll test you for celiac disease, and then turned out that was what was wrong with me. So then I had stopped eating gluten for about 3 days and feeling a lot better, and then I got this call, and I was just sitting in my room, and nobody that I don't know ever phones me, so I was like, this is just gonna be some scam. I answered the phone, and it was just like, hello, is that Jenny? Yes. It's like, do you still have your lovely long hair? I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, what actually did I just realised, if you don't know who's ringing you, what a strange thing to open a conversation with. Yeah,
who the hell is this? So
Rage, I cut all my hair off now. God,
I was genuinely like, yeah, like thinking, okay, it's either a serial killer
or a prank,
or it's like a prank or something. And then it's like, oh, it's Game of Thrones, do you want to be a Wildling archer? I was like,
I'm so jealous.
So like hyperventilating, and I genuinely don't think I like said coherent words.
Oh my God,
I was
I'm so jealous.
like, just completely lost it. And I remember just going into this like haze of just panic happiness, just like I can't even function, and I immediately said yes, sort of, kind of garbled, and they were like, okay, great, we'll get you in for a costume fitting, you'll hear from us by the end of next week. And I'm thinking, oh god, this is really soon, and I'm really not very well. So I was like saying to my mom, do you think I can actually do this? So we tried to get me semi-fit, so I could walk up a hill, basically. It was about all I could really do. And then they didn't message me, and I thought, oh god, no, it's fallen through. So I was like really, really getting upset. And then the next Monday they called me and they said, oh, we're so sorry, we got like too many people or whatever in for the first one, so come in like tomorrow. And I'm like, yes. So I went in then, I got my costume fitting, and the costume like just looks so class, and it's really, really hot, and you think that'll be grand, but then whenever you're standing out in the freezing cold and the wind and the rain, it's not enough. It's just like absolutely freezing. But just seeing, there was like props everywhere, and I was like seeing costumes that the actors were wearing and all, and thinking, this can't, like, this is just what, like, like I really wanted to touch them, but I was like, I didn't want to get told off. And they asked me for an archery assessment, which is basically just to like test to see that you're not, a guy who went to his nephew's birthday party one time and fired a bow once, and then now says,
so you had down in your thing that you had archery.
Yeah, because I've done archery for years, and I thought, that's a good skill to have, but a lot of people lie about that. It's like one of the most common things to lie about. So
because they think they can just show up and shoot an arrow and it's easy.
It can't be that hard. What are you talking about? So we turn up to the archery assessment, and it's full of these like really tall, really beardy men with really long hair, and I'm like, this is so strange. Because like where I'm from, like none of the guys had long hair, and they were all completely clean shaven, and it was just a really different environment. So I thought these people are going to be so unapproachable, but they were really, really nice. And then there was one guy who was like boasting like mad. He was like best archer in the world, like absolutely amazing, done this like my whole life, I'm so good at this. Gets handed the bow, and he's like, which way up does it go? I was like sat there going, no, you're kidding me. Because he'd been going on for like a good 20 minutes about how amazing he was. I was like, you got to shit me. Like, no. I was like, there you go. Needless to say, he did not make the cut, but like.
And so obviously then arching being able to shoot an arrow actually does help you, like, because I assumed that if you wanted to be an extra and you didn't have archery, that they'd just fake it if you needed to pretend.
No, they only pick people that actually do archery as a hobby, which means that there's a lot more guys than girls, because for some reason girls just don't seem to do archery. I don't know why. This is such a fun sport.
Well, yeah, I suppose I can see that, because I did archery in college, like, and I really, really enjoy it. Enjoyed it. Fun. And I'd love to do it again, but yeah, I have a bit of nervousness about showing up to, say, an archery club, because I feel like it might be like all guys, or I'm like, you know what I mean? I can see why you'd be put off maybe
getting into it
as a hobby as an adult.
I live on a farm, so I just shit in my own land. I don't bother going to a club.
Fair enough.
I went to a club once, never did it again. I just thought,
you see, I don't. My background's not big enough.
Yeah, it's not an environment I'm enjoying, so I'm just gonna shit in my own land. So I have this really crap target that, because I can't afford anything better.
Obviously, did the job. Got you a job on your own.
Oh, it was amazing. But they had, I think it was somewhere in the region of 300 extras at the start, and it went down to under 100, and I think it was 125 toward the end, because just so many people turned up on the first day and said, like, they weren't interested in being on camera, and I'm going, what? Why the hell are you doing this then? What? Mind blown. And they're going, oh, no, I just thought it'd be like easy work. I'm going, even I can tell this is not easy work. I know I've done this before. And like first day, it's freezing cold, and we're just like in these mad, really amazing costumes and all. And they're going, oh, like I really hope you can't see me. I'm thinking,
that's mental.
You're so like, what
I would gladly take their spot.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. I would gladly take that spot. I'm way too small, unfortunately, to be a wildling, but a girl can dream.
Like, there was plenty of people actually there that were sort of like much shorter than me, and like there was a lot of guys who were ridiculously tall. Like one of my good friends, Liam, he's 6'7", and they loved him because they stuck him in every shot because it balanced out the crowd. So like he could kind of like get away with saying more stuff than the rest of us, because he was like, they're never gonna fire me. Who else is 6'7"? Do you know what I mean?
It's so funny because anyone I talk to that's been on it is like, oh, I was on it with my friend, or like it's and there seems to be like, you like lots of everyone knows each other, and they end up kind of like I did the Direwolves tour where I met the Direwolves, and the guy who owns the Direwolves was telling us like that he's been in it, his twin brother's been in it, his dad's been in it, like everyone in his family except for his mother apparently has been in it. Or at least when I did the thing a year ago, he said he was trying to get her in it, so you never know, she might have been in it.
Probably has
been. Yeah.
It's one of those things, like if you're not friends to start with, you will be by the end of it, because you've so much time sitting around. But like genuinely, before the first time I was on set, we did fight training, i.e. one short fight sequence, but we did it over and over and over again for an entire day.
Jesus, what a rest.
Well, by the end of the day I was like, geez, I'm very tired right now. I'm really, really tired. But I think the adrenaline and the excitement had kind of kept me going, and as well I met one of my best friends to this day. there. Well, actually, I met him at the Archer assessment, but I don't remember him from that. He remembered me, but I don't remember him. But anyway, so we had so much fun, and at the end of the day, I was going home on the bus going, geez, I am exhausted. The next day, right, genuinely got up from my bed, and I just collapsed into a heap. I couldn't actually stand up.
Oh my God.
I was like, my legs are made of jelly. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced, but like, I've never worked that hard in my life.
Oh my God.
And I just couldn't stand up at all. I was like, oh God. So I was really relieved that like the film didn't start until like the next week, so I had a bit of time to recover.
You had a bit of time to recover, yeah, that's
Thank
fair
God.
enough.
I'd see if they'd said to me, you're in for the next day, I'd have had to have been like, I literally can't walk, so yeah, no chance.
You were Wildling...
Archer.
Yeah. So what scene were you in? Spoiler alert for
anyone who hasn't seen Game of Thrones. Like, it was season 5, episode 8 and 9, sort of, because you can see me, but like you'd kind of have to know it was me. But in season 5, episode 8, you can see me firing my bow like at the screen. They put the camera right in front of me, and it was the most intimidating thing ever. It's this massive camera, and
oh my God.
they had it on tracks, and they're just moving it slowly along, and they're like, just pretend you're like, like you're looking at whites and all. So I was like acting my way hard out, because I really want to be an actress. Like, it's never gonna happen, but I want to be one so much. And I just thought, like, okay, really, like, pretend your family are dying on the other side of this wall, and like you have to protect them. And like, I actually, when I saw that on screen, I cried and screamed and just made noises I didn't know I could make.
Yeah.
And like, I was watching at 3 a.m. with actually with Aaron, the friend that I was talking about.
Live, yeah, when it went up the first time, yeah.
And my mum was in bed asleep, and she came and she's like, what the hell is going on? It's me.
Oh my God,
like,
I'd
freaking out.
scream.
So yeah, season 5, episode 8, peeps. So like,
I'm gonna go back and watch that now. You sent me a photo, and I was like, you looked amazing in your costume.
I couldn't believe that, like, and it wasn't one of those, you kind of expect as an extra to kind of see yourself like, oh look, that person's me right there.
Oh, is that the back of my head?
Yeah, and I got a few of those like through it, and I was like, oh yeah, thinking this is great, and then that came up and I just lost my shit. I completely like just couldn't even handle it. Like
and so did you die?
No and yes. But as in, I played a dead person for a day, but it wasn't specifically Archer me, and Archer me was walking through Castle Black in the next episode, so I was fine.
Yeah, so I could totally come back. Please
bring me back.
You could totally be brought back at any point, because it's not like your character has been
killed off or anything.
Yeah. I don't know, do they reuse extras?
They do, yeah. In fact, they've asked me every year since, but I haven't been able to do it.
What?
It's so frustrating. I was in Scotland I was in Scotland, the second year that I got asked, and I was like, I actually cried a little bit.
Oh, I would as well.
Because I was just like, like the one time I'm in Scotland. I'm never in Scotland. What am I doing? And I was actually in Scotland with one of my friends who's also an extra on Thrones as well. And he got asked at the same time as well, but couldn't do it because I was over in Scotland with him.
No, never go on holiday.
I know. I was like, I'm never leaving this country ever again. Like, summer is the only time I'm safe. Summer is the only time I'm safe, because it's all filmed from
in the winter.
Like, sort of from late autumn into the winter, and I tell you, it felt really cold. Like, I considered putting my feet in the fire at one point.
And are those Wildling costumes actually warm or no?
They're really, really warm, yeah. But when you're...
And heavy, I'd say.
Yeah, and like, when it rains a lot, they're very absorbent. And you start getting like... But there was one girl, actually, there was a pool of fake blood and she had to lie in it. And she came back into we had these like massive marquees that we would all sit in. She came back in and she was just pouring blood from her sleeves, and I was just looking at her like, God, I don't envy you. Like, I thought water was bad, and she's just like wringing it out. It's just fake blood pouring all over the floor, and I'm like, ugh, and it stank as well.
That's actually something I noticed in the show. Spoiler alert, skip 20 seconds if you don't want to hear a spoiler for the end of the most recent series. But yeah, it seems like they would get really heavy when they get wet. And you, I assume, are up to date, by the way.
Yeah.
So, when Jon Snow is beyond the wall and they're all surrounding them, and then Daenerys is rescuing them on the dragon, and he gets pulled underwater, and then Daenerys falls off, and then he comes back up. and he manages to get out again. I'm like, surely those, because he was wearing a big fur. I'm like, surely that fur would have just dragged him down. That makes no sense.
It is incredibly heavy. Like there were not. I thankfully was not one of them, but there were a lot of extras and stunties that had to go into the water, and they were saying like it was almost impossible to swim because you were just so heavy. They had to wear like wetsuits and stuff underneath their costumes.
Jeez.
Which is more than I can say for the Vikings ones, because like Tim, who's my boyfriend, he was also on Vikings, and he said he had to do the same thing for Vikings but with no wetsuit, and it was freezing.
Oh my god.
He was dying.
That doesn't sound good.
But like the first day I ever saw the set, I remember being like really just... It felt really surreal because it was like walking into the show, and it was as well very weird because we had just walked out of a marquee and then just through these massive wooden gates. It was like literally like tree trunks that, you know, had just been put together to make a gate. It was unbelievably massive, and it was all real as well. It wasn't even fake. It was so heavy, and we had to push it out as well, which was quite feat. But like I walked out and I just thought, this is just like what? No. I like I walked up to one of the tent teepee type things, just like poked it because it's like no, it's not real, is it? I was like, this is so weird, I'm touching the set, and it gave me this weird satisfaction to be able to be like, I can move this rig to here, and like that'll be in the show there because I moved to there. I'm like, this is so sad, but I don't even care. I'm like, there were people that came from like all over the world in the hopes of being an extra. Like they had no guarantee at all.
Yeah, I'm on the website, but like if they had an open casting, I would drive. I would fly to where else did they film? Malta to go to it.
They asked me to be in Croatia as well at one point. I can't remember what that was for now, but it was like a full on like nude, you know, scene and everything, and I just thought, I really want to go to Croatia. I really want to do this again. But I'm also not very comfortable doing that, so I'm like, do I, don't I? And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it. And I've always kind of wondered what that would have been like.
Yeah, I mean, you've more
resolve. Friends that have done it as well.
Yeah, you've more resolve than me. I would have been like, okay, yeah, I'll totally take all the clothes off. I don't want to do it, but I will do it because I want to be in Game of Thrones.
It's one of those
already
things,
been in Game
like,
of Thrones, so yeah.
I know. See, I think if I hadn't, but like I was like, oh, this is why does it have to be so complicated? Everything is made to so much detail, much more than you expect, because you think it'll just be kind of like quite basic, because I'm sure you've probably seen some of those like special effects videos online of how they do like you know, all the layers and stuff for the dragons and everything. Yeah, so and I've done the tour, so on the tour they bring you to each location and it's really bare because it's when they're not filming, and then they show you like what it looks like on screen, and it's totally different. It's really mad how much stuff they add in, and like they had us carrying stuff and wearing stuff and all that there's no way you could see on camera, but it sort of just makes it look that bit more detailed, that it looks more real. And I had a big spear that I was very proud of, and I carried around all the time until they actually had to physically take it off me. So they were like, you really can't go into the extra tent with that. I was like, please though, because I'm going to lose it, like somebody else can take it. And they were like, no, you can't. So how long did it take you to film then to be in 2 episodes? It was over a month of filming. Wow. Yeah, it was pretty much, it was the end of October, all of November, and then this very start of December. But the very start of December was only like a few of us. There really wasn't very many of us left. And they did one whole day that was just the archers, which was like the best day ever, because it was that we had like our own kind of archer club. We thought we were better than everybody else. We were just like, yeah, we're the archers, you know what I mean? And my friends like Liam and David and that were, you know, mucking about all day, and we were just having the best time ever. And like there was one guy who was just the most, I don't know, like whether there was something wrong with him or what, but he just, every flipping take they'd be like, okay, and you know, everybody quiet, and then he just like walk forward, and the director's like, what is this guy called? Like, get him off the set, you know, like back up, right, okay. And we're all frozen again. Okay, rolling. What? Seriously? And he just kept doing this, and then like he kept running in front of me and like grabbing the White's hands through the wall It's like, it turned out like I think really he just wanted to be on camera.
So he was kind of ignoring what he was being told to do.
Tip for extras: do not try to be on camera. If it's meant to be, it will happen.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing though, they will actively try to not let you be on camera if you're too eager.
No, I totally get that, because then it ruins the naturalness of it, because you're like, oh hey mom,
do you see behind here? They actually like at one point they were saying like everybody's smiling too much, like can we all stop smiling so much, because all you could see was all these teeth. They kept saying, okay, cut, stop smiling, and action.
Look mad.
And like it takes so long every single time they have to stop for the littlest thing. It takes
to reset the whole
forever
thing
to set it all up again. You think, maybe like a minute, 2 minutes. No, it was like 15 minutes sometimes. What? Depending on the scene. Like there was one scene where we were going out in the boat and it took like 15 minutes every time they had to reset. So
that's attention to detail.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Jesus.
It was like, and I was kind of like, I appreciate this for what it is. Do you know what I mean? And actually like, one of the actors, do you know Tormund?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, I love Tormund.
He is the nicest man.
Brienne so bad.
He was like Anita, like oh my god. I see whenever he was saying about like having big gigantic views, and I was like oh my god, like get together. Like again, spoiler alert, but like the end of the last season, I was just genuinely like, oh, you better be alright.
Exactly. I'm like hoping against hope that he's okay.
See if he's not,
and then he doesn't get with her, I'll be raging.
He has to.
He has
like,
to.
I love the looks. I love the looks. Just the way he's like, and she's like, what the hell?
And again, spoilers, sorry, but I love the way he was like talking to the hound about it.
Yeah, oh my god.
And he's like, she looks at you funny, and then the hound is like she wants to kill you or something.
Yeah,
and then he's like,
you do know her. He was like, oh my god. I just thought that's the best declaration of fancying someone you've ever seen in any program.
Yeah, it's so
it's
good.
like I couldn't have wished for better.
Yeah, it's so good.
It was amazing. But he is the nicest person ever. Like I met and sort of saw quite a few of the cast and that, because obviously like you're on it for that long, you're bound to bump into them. But there was one scene that they put me right beside him, and there was only like a couple of other extras. So like we got chatting and stuff, and like he's just really nice and much more like, I don't know, friendly than you think he'd be. Although if you've ever seen like any of the YouTube videos and stuff with him in, like, he's a bit like, he's really funny. But and I was thinking, how are you, Tormund? Like, how are you this, like really ferocious, like beast of a man? And then they said, right, okay, and everybody get ready kind of thing. And he just transformed. He was just like, oh my god, it was amazing. I was looking at him like, I actually took a minute to kind of realise that I was supposed to be acting as well. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'm so scared. Like just gazing up at him like, oh my god, like how did you do that? Like it was just such a dramatic and like real change. I was like, so
just before we forget, you've brought a jacket. Can you talk about that?
Yes, I can indeed.
And it's one you got when you were working there, is it?
Yeah. So we were.
So you'll have to just describe it for the people not watching on YouTube, people listening on SoundCloud.
For people watching, it says Game of Thrones in the back, and it has a giant embroidered dragon.
Oh my god, that's
which
amazing.
Is just like so class. And on one sleeve it says Dragon Unit Belfast 2014. I love being called Dragon Unit. There was no dragons either as well. I thought it's such a weird name to give us.
Yeah, especially because you're Wildlings, yeah.
But like, it's so cool. And then on the other sleeve it says Wildling.
That's amazing. God, I would never stop wearing that jacket. I wear it everywhere.
I love it so much. And like, it's actually a bit sad. Like me and Tim walking through the streets of Belfast wearing our Game of Thrones jackets. Everyone's like at the
Do you get loads of questions when you wear it?
Yeah, like the number of people that have said to me, oh god, were you in the show? I'm like, yeah. It's funny, nobody ever thinks it's like merchandise. People always
I think it's I mean, it does say Wildling, and then it says,
yeah, I suppose it kind of, it looks like the crew jackets that they would wear. It does look pretty official, yeah. But like I've always been surprised that people, they never question it. They're always just like, oh my god, like like which season were you in kind of thing. And I'm like, it's episode 8, look it up. I was actually just talking about it with my the fellows at work today, because they were like, oh, were you Game of Thrones? Because I like brought my jacket in, like totally not trying to get them to like ask me about it or anything. They were going on about Game of Thrones yesterday.
Well, you've got one more season now, so you're gonna have to. You're gonna, if they ring you this year, you're definitely gonna have to say yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna like work. Yeah, I'm gonna just go like, you know, we could take off. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I wanted to ask you earlier, actually, because you were saying it was like over a month. And so Jesus, you really need to be free, like
yeah.
I work. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
how would that work? I wonder. If
well, I didn't work at the time because of being celiac and not knowing what was wrong with me. I was really sick all the time, and I just couldn't keep a job because I was just so sick.
Yeah. And
like I just get so tired and so unwell and that, and I never got fired, but I just went to my employer. I was like, look, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm just not well enough, and I'm so happy to be feeling well now. It's just amazing.
So that kind of worked out then, because like you, as you said, you found out you were celiac just before you started, so you were obviously back on the way to being well again. So
I think that really helped me get well as well. Yeah.
So then you could just go back.
I was like, I'm free, I'm feeling better. And as well, like, it pays really well, which is great. That, like, as I worked for a whole year just doing extras and like small acting jobs and things like that, and it pays really well when you're working. But then there's large periods where there's no job,
not be working,
and you're like, God, I wish I hadn't bought that really expensive top. What is wrong with me? Like, I know I need to keep my money, but then you get like another job, and you're like, oh no, I'm fine for a while. And straight after Game of Thrones, actually, I was in Scotland again, a different time, but I was in Scotland with my friend David from Thrones, and they asked me to do Frankenstein Chronicles, and I was like, oh wow, this could be my job. No, it couldn't. It's not sustainable, like, but it's amazing. But yeah, like I don't know, just everything on Thrones is so much more impressive and bigger and more dramatic. And like, oh my God, sorry, it just reminded me of this one time, we were in the marquee getting our weapons, because you line up to get the weapons, and like every day you sort of get different weapons and stuff, but this day they were getting, because I wasn't doing archery every day, so sometimes I get a sword, which is cool. You're not allowed to play with them, but you do. But like the guy handed me this bow, which was the most stupid looking bow I'd ever seen. It was about like that high, maybe that high, and it had these big fuzzy fluffy like pom-pom type things on the ends of it, and I just looked at it and thought, what the hell is this? I've never seen anything like this in Game of Thrones. This looks ridiculous. I'm expecting to get something like egret, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is such a stupid Ponzi wee bow. But then I'm starting to like walk away from him, and I tried to pull it back just to sort of see what the draw weight of it was, and I was like, I can't pull this back. This is the heaviest draw weight I've ever experienced. Like, it's just literally was like, ugh.
Quick apology here, we had a bit of a technical difficulty in that the camera was full, so we are back on, and you were telling us about a bow with like flowery shit on it.
Yeah, that was like the most ridiculous looking bow I've ever seen in my life. And but yeah, like when I couldn't believe how heavy a draw weight it had, and I suddenly thought to myself, okay, this is fine for just holding it, but they're going to ask me to draw my bow for the show, and I'm not going to be able to do it, because I could physically do it, but like maybe like 10 times and I'd be ruined, and they did take after take after take. So I'm going, I can't use this bow. So I went back to the fella. I said, look, you know, I can't use this bow. Like the draw weight and it's too high. And he goes, oh, don't be ridiculous, you just don't want the silly wee bow. And I was like, just give it a draw there, will you? And he goes, okay, I'll get you another bow. I was like, yeah. And then he handed it to Liam. It's like 6'7" Liam got what we named the My Little Pony bow. And every day we would wonder which one of us would get the My Little Pony bow.
That's so
well, I was exempt because I was like, oh, I can't draw it. It's like pretending I'm like weaker than I am.
I'm so weak.
I know, like, oh, I couldn't possibly use it. And like Liam's standing there going, I hate you. At me, I'm like, sorry. Oh my god, it was so funny. There was one day, like, we were so tired and, like, Liam was leaning against me, falling asleep, and then he just, like, sort of started really falling asleep, and I was like, oh my god, I actually can't take his weight. Like, he's really skinny, but because he's so tall, he's quite heavy, and I was just like, I'm getting crushed here, and like, my friend Hart just, like, shoved him back upright, and, like, balanced him against the bow, against My Little Pony bow, and he didn't even notice. It was hilarious just seeing him, like, propped like this against the My Little Pony bow. We were all laughing our heads off at it. It was so funny.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous. I'd love to be on Game of Thrones. Ah!
Oh my god. Actually, I was just gonna say, I told you, like, I met my boyfriend on Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Like, we were
you haven't told me on the podcast, yeah.
Oh, have we not? Oh,
no.
Right. Yeah. So we were put together for a scene, and it was basically just we could hear the whites coming, and we were like, oh my god, what is this? So we, like, come forward to the wall, and we're, like, looking through to see what it is, and then we kind of run backwards. But they had the ground covered in fake snow, but it was really thick with muck underneath it, and they paired me with this fella who decided immediately upon meeting me to take the piss out of my accent. So then, of course, I returned the favour by taking the piss out of his accent because he's from Waterford, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. So he actually does say 33 and a third, and I was, like, laughing at him, and he was going, say situation to me. I was like, situation. He was like, ah. So we were laughing at each other's accents, and then they did one scene, and we were like, oh, this is grand, you know, we're really enjoying this. And then we walked back, and the guy who puts the fake snow has a massive hose that he does it with, and he's, like, putting it over the ground and, like, glaring at us, and we were going, what's going on here? So then they were like, okay, can you get back into position? So we walked back in, and he's like, walks back over and, like, takes our tracks away from behind us, and we're going, what the hell? Like, and this guy, like, grew to hate us by the end of it. But so then Tim goes to me, why don't we jump into our position? So, like, we're like, okay, so we stood back to the edge where he was going to snow, and then we, like, leapt violently into our positions, and then he started calling me snow jumper after that, and, like, it made no sense to anybody else, but we thought this was class.
And so the snowman was getting mad at you for tramping through the snow, right?
Because it would ruin it, because, like, it would turn to this, like, brown mush every time we'd walk on it, because it's kind of like little tiny bits of paper.
Yeah.
It's,
but you couldn't really help it. Like, you had to keep going back to the start.
But, like, and that fake snow, oh my god, you cannot get it out of your hair, especially because they put coconut oil in your hair, and then there's, like, fake snow glued to the coconut oil,
Jesus.
and you wash your hair and you get out and your hair still looks greasy, and you're going, okay, right, it back in again, wash it and wash it and wash it. I washed my hair 5 times one night, got out of the shower, dried my hair, went, still looks greasy, and then slept. I woke up and there was bits of fake snow on my pillow after washing my hair 5 times. I was like, are you kidding me? My entire house got covered in little bits of white everywhere. I was like, it looks like a really bad dandruff. Like, just walking everywhere, like, just shedding, like, walking about town, little flakes of white just coming out my hair, just like, this looks so bad. Like, people must be looking at me going, Jesus, I've never seen dandruff that bad.
But it's definitely an experience you would recommend. Oh yeah,
like, 1,000,000%. It was just, like, I made so many friends from all over the world. This guy from Russia came to Ireland.
Wow.
Hoping he might get on the show, and again another girl from Canada, and like, I have friends from just everywhere now that I never thought I'd have. Like, I grew up very sort of sheltered and very, like, in my own tiny little area, and, like, I grew up in a farm as well, so I didn't really have many friends, and just then I met, like, 1 million people, and I saw the most unbelievable set, and the cameras and the lights and these massive cranes, and, like, just the ADs, and, like, there was, like, you know, one day we're filming in the absolute driving rain, and the makeup's just pouring back off my face, and the makeup girl's coming up to stab it on, the rain's just washing it back off. She was like, okay, Liam, David, stand in front of her and block her face from the rain until we say action, and I'll put more makeup on the next take. It was hilarious, and just, like, moments like that thinking back on them, I'm like, actually that day was the best day. The day that it was just torrential rain was the best day to film in, because it felt so dramatic. You're, like, striving through it, like, this is so cool. But and, like, just I highly recommend it to anyone who's, like, even slightly interested in the filming industry, let alone Game of Thrones. Like, just go on to extras, because it's just the best experience.
Yeah, I'm on extras, so fingers crossed they'll eventually give me a shout.
It's amazing.
I might be too small, but anyway, I'm gonna, like, retake my headshot now and try to get it, like, I don't know, more fierce or something in the hope that they'll pick me.
I think they just like no makeup, like messy hair, and they pick you.
Yeah, definitely gonna redo it then.
They just want you to look mad.
Yeah.
Just like, do you look like you've just been through a rainstorm, a hailstorm, a snowstorm, and like had muck thrown at you?
She's great.
Absolutely amazing. And like, just, oh my god, just, there was red clay everywhere. Literally everywhere. It was the reddest of red clay.
Oh wow.
All over us. Like the whole set was covered in this red clay. It was like natural, but like I couldn't get it off me. I couldn't get the fixing off me. I couldn't get the coconut off me. I couldn't get the red clay off me. I was just like, it was the best thing I've ever done, and I would kill to do it again. Like,
yeah. So you make YouTube videos, don't you?
Yeah.
So remind everyone what your YouTube channel is and where they can find you online if they want to talk to you more about this, or if they just want to check out your videos.
Yeah, feel free. So I have a YouTube channel called Jenny E, which will be like running for like 5 years in September or something. So yeah, I should probably be doing better than I am. And I do have Twitter. It's just Jenny E, I think. But it looks like me, so you can probably tell. And then Jenny93, I think, on Instagram.
Yep.
I love Instagram a lot, but I hardly ever post selfies. It's just like pictures of my hands and stuff. Cause, like,
well, I'll have all the links in the description anyway, so we'll have them right there. And if anyone,
on YouTube, I'd be happy to have you.
Yeah. So check out her on YouTube, and thank you so much for coming all the way up. You came all the way up from
Newtonards, which is near Belfast.
Belfast, wow.
Yeah.
Fair play to you. Thank you for coming all the way up to the outskirts of Dublin. And yeah, we are on YouTube and SoundCloud. We put up a podcast every week. Check out all the other episodes, and we have a Patreon if you're feeling generous and want to support the podcast. Give it a look. All the links are down in the description. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.